Kitty, you're in the box? You're so silly. He was in the box for the whole part. You're so silly. Kitty, you're gonna get your whiskers painted. No, get. I'm sure you all noticed that I didn't post a video last week. First, I want to say thank you for your patience and for continuing to watch and sticking around, even if there is a missed week here and there. The reason I didn't post a video last week is because I just couldn't bring myself to actually finish anything. I just started back at work, which is exciting. I know that I've been kind of mentioning it in a lot of videos that I just want to go back to work. I just want to get back to work. I love my job. And I'm finally back. That is not without its own amount of anxiety and insecurities and just uncertainty of actually what all this entails and being back, and my son's still doing virtual school and everything just kind of happening all at once. And so there were several days there where my anxiety was really, really high. When I get like that, when I'm in a big state of anxiety, I tend to shut down, and that's exactly what happened. That's why the video didn't get done. That's why I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I just want to be honest with everybody. And most of you who are subscribed to me know me personally. You actually know who I am. You know my life. You know what's going on. And you know that within the last few years, anxiety and depression and those kinds of things is something that I've actually been dealing with a lot. And my whole life I've been insecure about a number of things. So that part's not new. But what is interesting and difficult is that I do this completely unmedicated. So when I do go into a big episode like I had last week and I do shut down, it's just a matter of me relaxing enough and calming myself down enough and handling it enough emotionally, and the other people in my home helping me through that, so that I can come back out on the other side intact, basically. So when those kinds of things happen, I will not put additional work on my plate. Big long story short, I didn't post last week because of mental health, and again, thank you guys for still being here. So thought I'd take it a little bit light this week and show you just one quick, simple upcycle project that I've kind of had on the back burner for a while. I got a really awesome new furniture piece for my living room, and so this project just made sense right now. Thanks to my lovely friend Manda, I have an ottoman for my living room now, which works out perfectly because we are a house of couch potatoes who like to put our feet up, and a regular old coffee table like the one we had, while still like fitting in the farmhouse vibe, didn't actually do anything but catch all the junk. When she messaged me about this Ethan Allen ottoman that she had, and it was the perfect dimensions, I really like the look of this new ottoman. I think it kind of changes it from that like super strict farmhouse vibe and brings it into kind of that more gothic, eclectic farmhouse that we really kind of go for. Now that I have that, I have nowhere to put my blankets because this basket lived underneath the old coffee table. But I just don't want it floating around the room. I feel like everybody's gonna stub their toe on it and it's gonna be a trip hazard. I remembered in my insanely cluttered garage, I had this crazy thing. This is an entry storage bench, and it literally is made to do exactly what it's going to be doing in our house right here. I'm not recreating it. I'm not like reinventing the wheel. I'm just giving it fresh life and using it to store the blankets. So I think I paid $15. Hi, Miguel. I need you. You have boogies in your eyes.
No.
You like really wanted my attention. At least a year ago, I bought this at Goodwill The tag says $15. I'm pretty sure I bought it on a half price clearance, so I paid anywhere between $7 and $15 for it. The style of the storage bench is actually very similar to the style of the dresser that we turned into our TV stand when we first moved in. I have some leftover punched metal screen that I'm gonna put in these holes here where the caning is. Then I'm gonna paint this white so that it matches the TV stand that we have, and it kind of feels more cohesive, like it belongs in the space versus being just this big black hunk of wood by the front door. I have some beautiful fabric that I'm going to use to cover the top of this. I already had that on hand. I already have the paint, and I have the leftover punched metal screen. This project cost past me maybe 20 bucks total when you think about the scraps and stuff that I'm using. I'm gonna start by sanding down the gloss finish and just kind of giving the paint something to adhere to. I am using a Bare Premium Plus paint and primer in one. This is just untinted paint, so it's just white interior semi-gloss enamel. I'm pretty positive that I used chalk paint on the entertainment center, but for some reason I can't find the one that I had, and this was in the garage, so this is what we're using. Once I'm done sanding it, I'm going to wipe it down with a clean wet cloth and then make sure that it's completely dry before I start painting. This has been sanded. There are some spots that I'm actually not going to paint. Those spots are the very top where the cushion sits, the inside, and the back. The reason I'm not going to paint the inside or the back is there's a vent on the back to allow for good airflow, and since the inside is the factory finish and the back is part of that vent, I don't want to clog that vent up with any paint, and I don't want to mess the blankets up with the paint either. So I'm going to leave the factory finish on the inside and on the back. Getting the caning off was actually pretty easy. So it's a pretty nice piece of cane. It is actual bamboo caning, and sometimes when you get furniture pieces like this that are pre-made, the caning is fake, but this is actually good bamboo caning, and I'm a little mad that they spray painted it, but it is what it is. This is a good size piece, so I'm going to hold on to it. To get the caning out, usually it's just held in with these dowels, and I used a screwdriver to get behind the dowel and just pop it out. Then the caning came out relatively easily. We are at the point now where I need to go ahead and get it painted before I can do anything else. So I'm going to get the first coat on, and then we will address the top. If you're familiar with this channel, you know that I've done upholstery jobs before, so this is definitely not new to me. But I'm not sure what the board under this looks like, and I'm afraid it might be very similar to the piano bench that we did that was almost impossible to use my staple gun in. So I'm hoping it's going to work, but it feels really, really tough. Because I was able to get the terry cloth off, I think I am going to actually wrap this in some quilter's batting. The reason for that is it's just going to give us a little bit more plushness, a little more life to this foam. This foam is still really, really good. It's not falling apart. It's not crumbling at all. And it's still nice and bouncy. But because this piece is probably 10 years old at this point, if not more, I want it to last as long as possible. And by adding some batting on top, it's going to give us more cushion for a longer period of time. So I have some quilter batting here. I'm just going to cut it to size, and I will wrap it in with the fabric and staple it down. I've got the batting cut just slightly bigger than the seat part itself. I'm gonna cut out a corner here so that when I pull it up, I've only got these two pieces and I don't have to worry about this floppy part here. So I'm gonna go in, make just some slight trims, and then we will be ready to put the fabric on. The batting is cut and I am going to have nice square corners when this is done, and I like the amount of fluff that it adds. It's like the perfect amount without it being too puffy. The fabric I chose is just a fabric with some keys on it. The gold that's in here really complements the olivey gold in the ottoman, so I'm really excited to be able to use this fabric. I've had it for so long and just never actually did anything with it. To upholster, just like we've done before on this channel, I'm going to lay the fabric out and then cut it to size, wrap and staple. It's literally just that easy. The fabric is cut and I'm going to start stapling now. The easiest way to start is to take the fabric on the center of one of the long sides and pull it nice and taut and staple it in. Then to grab the fabric from the other side, opposite corner, pull that nice and taut and staple it in. And then of course the middles of the two shorter sides as well. Now that the centers are all stapled down and the fabric is held in place, I'm going to focus on the corners and getting them nice and crisp. The way I'm going to do that, I actually like to lift it up versus keeping it laying down, because that way I can actually see the good side of the fabric and use, you know, gravity and the force of my body to maneuver the fabric in place. So I'm going to pull the top side away from me so that it's nice and taut on the front, and then the side of the fabric, I'm going to press the corner down with my finger and bring this fabric around like that so that my corner is a nice straight line right here. And I'm just gonna keep working that until it's perfect in my mind and I'm happy with it. Once I've got it, I'm gonna lay it back down and staple it into place. I'm happy. I'm going to move on and do the other four corners. All four corners are neatly tucked. I'm going to finish it off by adding the staples around the rest of it, pulling it taut as I go. It's finally done. I love it so much. This fabric is perfect, and that extra little bit of padding just give it that extra like bit of roundness that I really wanted, just to smooth it out a little bit and give it some more life. To finish off this entry bench, I'm going to use the same punched metal screen that I used in the TV stand. And I just used the bamboo caning that I took out of here as a template, and I curled back the sharp edges. This isn't going to focus on this, but these sharp edges, I curled them in towards the front of the box. The reason I did that is I don't want to snag any of my blankets. I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. And when I took the bamboo caning out, there's a small groove inside here that these curved edges will fit into, so that this back half is smooth and it's not going to hurt anybody. It's finally complete. The screen is nice and secure in here, and it's going to allow for ample breathing room so nothing gets stale. The top is super comfortable. It feels really good. This is going to work absolutely perfectly for what I need it for. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!